This is David from Dracoon Ventures. Today, I want to speak about a tool that we have developed in-house. It's called the Order Winner and Order Qualifier PMF Matrix, and we believe it will help startup entrepreneurs, especially achieve product market fit quicker. The current problem in the market is that founders launch products with assumptions about customer value, but unfortunately, many actually misjudge either by overestimating features or missing critical ones. And the first one is a so-called false positive. The second one is a false negative. And this feature matrix or this matrix that we have developed, we hope and we believe that it will help you reduce those product failures. Especially in Web3, this is an area where we as Dracoon Ventures are strong, is that 95% of the startups in this industry actually do fail. There are, according to CoinMarketCap, over 29 million tokens and 5 to 10 million daily active users only. And only few companies really have achieved product market fit, such as Binance or Coinbase, Uniswap, Hyperliquid, Aave in the lending space, etc. We have borrowed basically from existing literature or existing concepts that have been proven to work. One is called the concept of auto winners and auto qualifiers. It's originated in the operations management research area. And an auto winner is basically a characteristic that directly causes customers to choose one over the other. So you can think of it basically as a USB. And an auto qualifier is a characteristic a product must have to be even considered by customers vis-a-vis the competitive offerings. The second dimension we have borrowed from is from hypothesis testing. And as I initially said, there are false positives and false negatives when it comes to the development of product features. And one is if a feature or product characteristic actually turns out to be an error, meaning a test indicates in hypothesis testing that a condition exists when it doesn't. For instance, in Web3 games, many people thought that governance tokens actually is important, but it turns out to be not important at all for gamers. So that would be a good example of a false positive, whereas a false negative, which is a type 2 error, is a condition where a test fails to detect a condition that actually exists. Good example would be wallet providers who have prioritized, let's say, complex DeFi functionality over ease of use or UX. And this is a good example of neglecting an important feature that could have been a auto winner, but actually has been rejected. So therefore, it is a false negative. So this is basically the beef of our model. So we're basically juxtaposing the founders and the customer perspective with regard to auto winners and auto qualifiers. So in the first quadrant, we have a correct auto qualifier. So both founders and customer treat it as auto qualifier, which is great. The problem starts with quadrant 2, where you have a missed auto winner. It's essentially a false negative, where the customers think of it as an auto winner, but the founders actually have neglected it. They might have launched this feature, but they have not invested fully in it, and so therefore they have seen it as an auto qualifier, whereas the customer thinks of it as an auto winner. And equally problematic is quadrant number 3, which shows the overestimated auto winner. Is basically a false positive, meaning that the founder thinks of it as an auto winner, but the customer really doesn't pay attention to it, or at least expects it to just occur in the product, but does not see it as a true differentiator. And obviously, quadrant 4 is a product market fit where both founder and customer think of it as a correct auto winner. So in Web3, for instance, I will just focus on quadrant 2, where we have a missed auto winner. Basically, a false negative is, just to give an example, years ago on crypto exchanges, there were crypto exchanges which just were focusing on a variety of tokens to be able to be traded, on, and that was considered the most important feature, but actually they missed the mark because customers obviously wanted to have a withdrawal feature with regards to off-ramp, and so that was basically a good example where founders missed bank transfers, for instance, as an important off-ramp functionality. And quadrant three is basically um, a good example for this in the Web3 space is where founders overvalued speed. Many people these days still speak about TPS, transaction per second, as an important, or let's say a driving factor with blockchain experience. That is not the case. Users do not care whether it's 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 or 10,000 TPS as long as it's fast. This is what counts at the end of the day. And this is obviously an important example of a so-called overestimated order limit. Now, what is the strategic recommendation? Especially if you have already quadrant one, so you have aligned yourself with the customer, so you're on par, or let's say you're aligned with customers that certain features that you have developed actually are an order qualifier, then you should maintain parity with competitors and potentially look out for features that could become an order winner. With regards to the second quadrant, missed order winner, false negative, here basically the founder has strategically undervalued certain features, and so you need to pivot and re-strategize, and you need to observe customers and potentially reconfigure your product roadmap. Estimated order winner is the root cause here is really managerial hubris. We often see that with companies who are overly engineering focused, where founders are in love with some technical specification that they have developed. And so you need to recalibrate and fix your confirmation bias and accelerate customer feedback back into the organization. And obviously, quadrant four is, as I mentioned, product market fit, which would be great to achieve. And if you have that, what you have to do, you have to scale that to other distribution channels, potentially new segments, new geographies, and you have to fundraise potentially in order to finance that growth. And then lastly, I do want to thank my co-author, Eunielle, who has worked with me on this paper as well as on this matrix. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me and we can have a discussion about this matrix, how it can be applied in your daily business. Thank you very much. Once again, this is David from Dracoon Ventures.